Shares of outlet operator Tanger jumping nearly 4% today. The retailer announcing revenue of $141 million, an occupancy rate of 98%. Company also acquiring a new property just last week in lovely Cleveland, Ohio. CEO Stephen Yalof is here now for more on the results. I want to talk about what we were talking about in the commercial break, though, about these stores. And you had gone in and said, this is how we transformed our business. You're about to drop some truth, but now we're on TV. So just do it while we're on the air.
Sure. Well, what we were talking about was a shopping center that's positioned in between two major cities.
Because I've been to your one in Howell, Michigan.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
On a highway. And, we built a shopping center about a year and a half ago in Nashville. That's about 12 minutes away from the city. So I think some of the major dynamics have changed over the 30 years of outlet shopping. The most significant of which is we're building them closer in to the communities where the people.
Why does that? Because you're right. They used to be, and they still are, in sort of far off places. But why does that matter to investors in your company? Why do they care where the mall is physically located?
So if we journey back 30 years ago, the shopping center needed to be positioned far enough away from the department store business, where most of the manufacturers who populated these malls, they had their brands were in those department stores. Now what we're finding is a lot more vertical retailers using outlet to clear excess inventory. And I also think that the consumer for outlet shopping right now is a lot more local. So a lot of those centers that were built in geographies that might not have had a big regional mall in their vicinity, places like Hilton Head and Myrtle Beach and Savannah, Georgia, those cities have now become populated by people. I think post-COVID, there's a lot of population growth in a lot of those markets. And these outlet centers are now becoming the places to go and the places to shop. The transformation that you were talking about is that recognizing the fact that a local consumer is looking for different things and not just an outlet shopping experience. They want better food and beverage. They want places to hang out. They want better experience. They want a movie theater. So we've pivoted our business, transformed our business to include a lot of those uses.
So, Steve, I just realized you were the coach for my son for baseball. Thanks. Nice to see you again. So you must have a really good look at the consumer from all different parts of the country. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I think coming out of holiday shopping, I think the consumer was extremely resilient. Our holiday numbers were great. Our traffic numbers were up. Our sales numbers were up. And then, obviously, January, there's some significant weather events. And, typically January is probably one of the slowest shopping months. But, I always look to the retailers as sort of a proxy for how the consumer is doing. In that, if the retailers are looking to expand, looking to bring more stores into our format or any other format for that reason, I think that's them voting that bricks and mortar retail for them is something that they want to continue to grow, and they want to continue to bring their products to the consumer. The retailers that we're working with, a lot of which are new to outlet now, really have these fairly large open to buys, and I haven't seen any pullback.
Stephen, congratulations. That's a great quarter. 98% occupancy suggests that you're doing everything right. So again, congratulations.
That's not 100%.
Thanks, Guy.
I don't think it can ever be 100%.
Well, and that's intentional.
It's intentional.
You ever play that fidget game? You always got to have one space. You can't move anything around.
That's it. Nobody ever gets 100% on.
Come on, Brian, please. Guy was asking a question.
Well, with that said, now you're going to have to look for growth opportunities.
That's right.
So where do you see those growth opportunities?
Well, they're in a bunch of different ways. Well, first of all, you just mentioned we bought a shopping center in Cleveland. We just bought a shopping center last quarter in Little Rock, Arkansas. So we think that there's great markets for us to expand our shopping center business. But, also, if you take a look at what makes up that 90% occupancy, embedded in that number is some short-term leases or some leases that are starting to roll. And if you look at our rent spreads that we reported a 15% rent spread, 13%
What's a rent spread?
So a rent spread is the difference between what the prior tenant paid and what the new tenant is willing to pay. So that means we're growing our rents as we re-tenant our space or as we renew retailers. And what we're finding is in the case that there's a retailer who perhaps has lost some market share, sales are going in the wrong direction, we're replacing those tenants with new tenants new to the business. Last year, we added 6 Sephora stores to our portfolio. We had no Sephoras prior to that. They're taking space, they're doing great sales volume, and they're paying more rent than the people that they're replacing.